some that didn't. Mainly it was more reps for the young guys than it was the older guys, but we did get some work in pre-practice. It was hot out there, which is good. Trying to get acclimated to the heat, especially the fact that we play a 3 o'clock game on that. Really, the scrimmage was more run-oriented emphasis than it was pass. I believe we ran it 2 out of 3 times on that, and then we also got some special teams work in, which I thought was good. Anytime you've got a new kicker, new punter, and everything that goes with that, okay? But for the most part, it was good to get out there. I think we got some real good information, from our guys, especially the young guys, who can tackle, who can do the little things. And it'll be good for our coaches, to watch the film and then everything that goes with that.
Questions? Did Nick and Jeremy spend much time throwing the ball today?
Nick got some work in first practice. Jeremy got some reps with, with the scrimmage part, but both of them got some reps. And then our young guys, Sean White got quite a bit, and Tucker Tuberville got quite a bit too.
What do you see from Sean White being put out there for the first time?
Yeah, he can throw the ball in time, and of course we knew that when we recruited him. But he's really what we ask our quarterbacks to do. Just pre-snap, there's a lot to it, communication, and then you got to think about the play, and then you got to think about how the defenses adjust. And we've been pleased with him so far. He's been able to pick up things at a pretty good rate, and just looking out there, watching it from behind, there wasn't a whole lot of just bust, just complete bust as far as communication, as far as execution, and I thought he threw the ball solid.
How did Rock Thomas and those guys look? Were they able to get back up after those big hits?
Yeah, it was good. Anytime you got young backs, you give them the football in these first scrimmages, and they get tackled and they get hit, and you see how they respond. And and a lot of times too, those guys get excited and they rush things a little bit, maybe get to the hole a little bit quicker. But that's kind of the reason that you want to do it early in fall camp. The young guys did get quite a few reps. They got the majority of the scrimmage. We have a lot of information about the 2 seniors. Those other 3 guys, it was really good to see them carry the football and everything that goes with that.
How have you told Jeremy to prepare and approach this first game?
Yeah, right now we're just in the fall camp installation, just getting all of our bases down. We really hadn't got specific, and we won't get specific probably for another week or so, as far as getting our plan together for the first game. So really just all the quarterbacks are just learning the offense at the same pace and just trying to get them prepared.
Was Chad Slade back today? Was he able to take part in the scrimmage?
He was one of the guys that we held out. He's fine. He just got a little banged up. And fall camp, a lot of times, especially the guys that you have a lot of information about, you just want to be smart, but he'll be fine.
Devereaux Lawrence back at practice?
Same situation.
And Trevon as well.
Yeah, same situation. Like I said, scrimmage-wise, guys, there was the majority of them scrimmaged, but there was some guys that didn't go, and most of those guys we got some pretty good information about already.
Was Danzy the guy working in Chad's spotting?
Yes, he did.
What have you seen from him already this fall?
Well, we've really seen him improve. In spring, we saw him improve, and then he's even raised his level more. And it's also good to put guys in there with certain groups, see how they respond. And so far, he's responded well. And we're trying to develop depth in our offensive line, especially without Kozan. So it's different than it was in the spring. You lose one, then you got to think about all the what ifs that could happen in the course of a year. Not just a game, but you lose this guy, what's the plan? You lose this guy, what's the plan? And so it's really good for all those linemen, I believe, that to not only show what they can do, but give us information as coaches about our plan, moving forward as the season progresses.
Did anything stand out to you about a first scrimmage?
Anything stand out? There were some pretty good licks out there. We had some guys flying the ball. The young guys were really flying the ball, and that's what stands out. I mean, the tackling wasn't great, but hey, the first scrimmage, that's always part of it. First time, yeah, but I thought some guys were flying around, and we got some guys I feel like can help us. Until you see the film and see the ins and outs and everything that goes with it, it's really hard to go any more past that.
Gus, was this earlier than what you normally do to have a scrimmage?
No, I think last year was pretty much the same. It's kind of one of those deals that you're trying to find out information about the new guys. I mean, that's probably the biggest key. At the same time, you want to kind of fine-tune some things with the older guys. But, you know, we're trying to make decisions as quick as we can as far as all the new guys, you know, whether they can help offensively and defensively, some on special teams too. And we did get some special teams work at the first of practice, which I thought was very good. Really focused on the punt once again, just trying to figure out, you know, who's going to win the punt job and trying to give everybody an opportunity with that. So it was good special teams work too.
Is this the type of scrimmage where after you guys look at the film, you start deciding and figuring out what young guys you'd start bringing?
You know, you don't make any final decisions, but, you know, we probably will learn more today than we have the previous, you know, 2 or 3 days. You know, just the fact that it's real football. And matter of fact, we even let our quarterbacks go live. Jeremy didn't, but the 2 young ones did, and see how they react. And then it's also good for the defense.
Will Jeremy go live at any point, do you expect?
No.
Of all your new guys, coach and receiver, who jumped out today?
You know, there really wasn't anybody that jumped out. I mean, there was a couple pass plays. There wasn't anything that worth really talking about. But it was kind of, once again, it was more of a run-oriented deal to see who can block, who can hold the ball, who can carry. We did throw it, but I wouldn't say there's anybody that just really, you know, caught my attention right now. And that's not a bad thing, okay, but it's just, that wasn't the emphasis. I mean, there will be a scrimmage that we'll throw the ball vertically down the field and kind of see what happens.
Gus, specifically about like Rock, what do you see from him today? Do you think he's a guy that really could make an impact early?
Yeah, he's got ability. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You can see he's got ability, and so it's just a matter, this is really good for him. It's really good for Peyton and Petway. I mean, all 3 of those guys got a chance to show what they could do, and gave us some information. And playing running back, you know, it's not just about running. I mean, there's a lot more to it. It's pass protection. It's getting on the right, line up on the right side, getting to the right depth right there, getting out in a route, understanding the offense. So there's a lot more to it than just running the football.
On the punting, Jimmy Hutchison, running one, or is it still?
Well, we got 4 guys, and we're letting them all get an opportunity. You know, hopefully we'll figure that out sooner rather than later. But we're just trying to give people opportunities, and it's not just there; it's some other positions too.
Jeff Whitaker was the guy who was voted as one of the top leaders on the team back in the spring. Just what does it mean to have him back, and what have you seen from him in that role still as he comes back?
Well, it's very important from the standpoint you have to have leaders, and he is a guy that, he was a leader last year too. Now he got hurt, didn't get to you know, play and all that, but he's a guy that all of his teammates respect. He's a guy that all the coaches trust and respect, and you have to have strong leaders. And you know, I'm one of those guys that put a lot on seniors. And my experience is when you're seniors and your team is accountable to seniors, and your seniors extension of your coaches, that you have a chance to be good. And so we're definitely asking our seniors to step up. And Jeff is one of those guys that we really feel like we can count on.
Time for a few more.
When you look at Brandon Folse, is it almost unfair for people to compare him to Jay Prosh and trying to fill that role because his role is going to be a little bit different this year?
It will be a little bit different. He will play a summer role, and you know, him and CJ both. And but Brandon, he has very good receiving skills. I mean, he you know, he's used to splitting out. Last year we played him at the number 2 receiver, and he was the number 1 receiver. So he's got a lot of versatility. He's a tough guy. He can play with his hand down, and he can be the movement guy too. And you know, him and CJ both can kind of fill that role. I mean, to be Jay Prosh, I mean, Jay Prosh was, you know, he was just a physical monster at the point of attack. And I'm not going to say these guys aren't physical, but you know, he's different. But at the same time, I believe we'll do a few more things with him, and so you'll see us be a little bit different. But still, you know, we've got to be able to run the football. And if you're effective to run the football, you've got to be at the point of attack. And so that's why it's a critical position, you know, with the side of the line, but also our H-back.
Guys, Reddit said that it was way too far out to name Jeremy the starter. Is there even a shadow of a doubt that Jeremy Johnson is
Yeah,
the starter?
well, we're not even going to go there yet. We'll wait, and in time we'll make sure and tell everybody how we're going to go about it. But obviously we have a lot of confidence in him, and like I've said before, and you know, his skills and what he can do, and then the fact that, you know, he played last year and played pretty effectively.
Guys, it seems like Corey Grant and Cam have been splitting carries and been top of the depth chart for so long. What do you think when it finally comes time to, you know, say who's going to be the starter? What do you think is going to be the determining factor there?
You know, I mean, we have confidence in both those guys, and we know they can effectively run our offense. We'll see what happens, and you know, I'm not ready to sit here and say this guy's starting, that guy's starting. It could be a deal like last year where we turn them both loose the year and see what happens. But they both will have a big role, and the three guys that got the majority of the carries today, I think, you know, just looking at it, they'll have a chance as long as they can pick up the offense and pick up the ins and outs and everything to do with that.
One last one.
And your plans for practice number 2 today?
It's going to be a little more special situation, a lot of teaching. It was pretty physical out there, which is good. And what is this, the 5th day in a row we practice or something like that? And so their bodies are starting to talk to them. So we'll do some situational things, which is always good during fall camp. You know, all those situations that could come up during the season, this is the time that you do it. And so that'll be the emphasis. And we'll do some special teams too.
All right, Coach.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
We'll have, we've got Pat Miller, Peyton Barber, Jeff Whitaker, and Jonathan Jones. Here in a minute.